Picture this. You're at EVO 2024 and you got a chance to play tons of games that haven't even been released yet. Some of these include Garrou's sequel, City of the Wolves, Rivals of Aether 2, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and the topic of this video, 2XKO, the League of Legends fighting game. You're impressed. Sign up for the alpha and get in because you were at EVO. But that's where we are right now. I've been playing the August Alpha Lab for the game and I really wanted to talk about it. I also had some spare time after finishing my cool action platformer game demo for Sage 2024 Scouter. I do enjoy fighting games and I would say I'm decent enough at them. I've won tourneys and got O2'd in others. I'm just letting you know I'm not amazing, so if there's something your fighting game brain knows that I could be doing but am not, you know why. As well, I have barely played League of Legends, like an hour or so as Ari and Kindred a decade ago, but I am familiar with MOBAs. How I ever got this many hours in Dota 2 is beyond me because this game sucks. Point is, I had a lot of free time, so I played this game non-stop, almost completed the Battle Pass, and I wanted to give my thoughts on 2XKO. So what is 2XKO? It's a fighting game with the League of Legends cast featuring a horrible name. It's a tag team fighter, so you play with a group of characters in a fusion style to spice up your gameplay. While a very interesting setup for the game, it doesn't play like you'd think. Most tag games I've played, like Marvel vs. Capcom or BlazBlue Cross Tag, are much faster and feature anime-style fighting game stuff, like air dashes and double jumps. This game, however, kinda has those. Ari has an air dash, but for the most part, characters aren't really nimble. Imagine something more like Street Fighter or King of Fighters than Marvel vs. Capcom. One thing that made me very interested in the game is the fact that you can play with your friend. I don't mean fight with your friend, I mean you and your friend can be a team and fight against two other people as a team, or just one person. This game has a lot of creativity with that, and I also think it's the best aspect of the game. They basically doubled their runtime at EVO by having a singles and doubles bracket, which is a very interesting way to boost advertising time. But actually talking to your friend and getting things set up is really cool, and screaming at them to tag you in feels very real. Alright, the actual gameplay. You have a light, medium, and heavy attack and two special buttons called S1 and S2, along with a tag button to round it out to 6 buttons. The game has assists with the tag button, along with specials and supers, but no motion inputs. You know motion inputs, those quarter circle forwards, half circles, and pretzel motions. Nothing like that exists in this game. That makes the game sound like it's not very complex.
Oh ho ho! You'd think so, wouldn't ya?
There are some very incredible combos you can do in this game. With some I swear I would break my hands trying to perform ones like Yasuo's. But if you want, you can play it simply enough too with those tournament-safe combos. There's also a lot of moves that follow up on one another. Rekkas, I believe they're called. It's definitely one of the few fighting games that can unite veterans and newbies to it. One thing that helps are the fuse selects. The pulse fuse is for the I don't want to learn combos gang and just want to get into it and use auto combos. There's others for double assists, being able to use a super to switch to your next character, one that just makes you stronger at 40% health, and one that just lets you tag twice when switching characters. There's a lot of setup you can do, and I primarily like using the super switching one, but you know, some people use that double tag assist and they can get really crazy. As well, the pizzazz for this game is through the roof. Well, before I talk about that, I hate the menus. It's like an ASP.NET site. You know the ones I mean, where there's just a bunch of bars at the top, and you have to go to them and then hit select and then actually go to the menu you want. Just have up and down menus. You do that in the options menu, and it's just fine there. However, the actual pizzazz is insane. Characters are extremely slick with an outstanding toon shader on them. It's actually so good, it made me try to get something like that in Scouter. 2XKO looks really good. Awesome attention to detail, great animation smearing, the HUD design is super sleek, and the round start graphics? Oh man, that is so flashy and cool. Oh, I hope Riot pays their artists well because this is fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, it's time to talk about the characters. For most of the gameplay you see here, I'm sure you've noticed Ari the most. She's the fox girl, and you know what? I think that's a good enough reason to try her. And then I found out she plays like an anime fighting game character, and I was hooked. Ari has a lot of long, difficult combos and is considered a much harder character out of the cast to master. I haven't gotten anywhere close to mastering her, but she's still a fantastic rushdown character, and I really enjoy her. Gameplay. I really enjoy her gameplay. Yasuo was one I used to play more of. If you want hard, here you go. Yasuo has extremely difficult combos that I'd love to show you if I could pull them off. If Ari is my other character, having two difficult characters to learn is not in my cards. In fact, I did play a lot of Yasuo because my friend did, but he changed to Braum. Hey, let's talk about Braum. On the other side of the scale, Braum is a much easier character that has a lot of moves with wind-up and a big shield. While I would say the delays with his moves make him harder to learn, no, he's not. He's quite an easy character to learn, but a step above the next person I'll talk about. I will say that he's the most charming character in the cast. He has a bunch of these cute fuzzy guys called pearls that he uses in his attacks. He even flexes his bicep to launch one at a cookie if he wins. Oh, and has a Raging Demon super. Absolutely the most fun to watch character. Darius is the simple character. He doesn't have much in terms of combos, but makes up for it with armor for his moves and a lot of range. He plays well with Ari's tag, but then again, so does everyone else. He can even inflict a status on enemies to make it easier to do chip damage with his combos. Darius is who I switched to after Yasuo, and I don't regret it. He's much easier to understand, and to have him on top of Ari makes it easier to balance them out. In the game, I mean in the game. The other two characters I don't have much familiarity with. Echo looks cool and has a lot of crazy stuff where he can rewind his positioning. I didn't get that much time to check him out, but I did like what I played, and I may give him a look if I'm allowed to go to the next alpha. Illaoi is a setup character, and I just don't want to play her. I just don't wanna. I don't like how she looks, it's really as simple as that. Am I evil for that? Yup. I do like the Cthulhu beast tentacles and the funny pot of horror she has, though. At the end of the day, my team has Ari as the point and Darius as the assist. I like these two a lot, and they have some good contrast to each other. Darius is easy, Ari is hard. Darius has long range, Ari has short range. Darius has short combos, Ari has long combos. Darius can inflict bleed to make Ari's chip damage better. Ari can do great tag assists to extend Darius's combos. Ari is hot, and Darius is literally meat. Everything just works together with them, and I like them as my team. If there's one thing I really feel this game really did beat down on, it's the audio. The music is actually pretty jamming, and I enjoy it. It's not the greatest in the world, but I will say that I like whenever it's on. It's never annoying or weird, but it is a little bit quiet by default. The sound effects are also really solid. It's easy to tell what kind of hits land and what's being blocked. I also like the super armor sound. The ting noise it makes is really fun. Very satisfying ting noise. Voice acting in this game is shockingly pretty good. Now take that as you will, because I've been playing a lot of games without any voice acting, or the voice acting is in a foreign language. So I kind of forgot how normal people sound. I have no idea who the actors are, but I do like them. I also like that with some moves they have different takes to keep variety when attacking.
Face the wind! Face the wind!
Overall, the audio is very good in this game. I think the lobbies are also something to talk about. Both the private and public lobbies are extremely cozy. The private ones being a nice lounge like a gaming bar is good. The public one is like an arena with a main stage. You can also just walk up and spectate the match. It makes sense. I like all the dumb lobby actions too, like how you can dash and jump around. I also like these glowing pads that you can jump on, and can follow to keep them lit. It's like a small platforming minigame in the lobby. To be honest, I'd love to see that in the future. You can also just slap a button to wait for another game to pop up, and it'll direct you to an open arena to fight in. Overall, the lobbies are fun. I don't like the character customization though. Everyone looks ambiguous and ugly. And let me tell you, there are some really ugly avatars out there. Now, in terms of issues with the game, I've already talked about some of them. The main menu being kinda crappy, the game being a bit stiff for the kind of game it is, and the ugly character models for the lobby. And in terms of other technical aspects, there's some things that are really good, like the training mode. The training mode is really thought out. You can even slow the game down if you need practice with combos. And I still can't do Yasuo combos. Great. There's been other technical issues too, though. Worst thing hasn't happened to me, but I remembered my friend got stuck sitting and we had to kick him to even give him control of the entire game again. Like, how does that happen? Also, my fight stick didn't work when I first tried it. Luckily, the Quanba Q1 I have has a way for me to switch to X input, which worked and I've left it as is since. I've also had matches where the game absolutely tanks performance-wise, turning into some kind of PowerPoint online. I've even had someone disconnect mid-match from me. Sometimes the music just stops.
Let's go!
Where did it go? When I was in training mode too, the game crashed when I tried to tag out. That's how I learned this was an Unreal Engine 5 game, as I submitted a crash report. Speaking of that Vanguard system, this crappy kernel accessing program sits there as a time bomb, ready to probably blow up your computer if you cheat. I get that we don't want cheaters in a fighting game, but this is a whole new low of invasive bullshit. However, the game itself was fine on my machine besides a single crash. I've heard complaints of screen tearing, but it's harder for me to spot that because I have a high refresh rate monitor. Oh yeah, also I'm on PC, just in case that wasn't obvious. So overall, I really have been enjoying this game. It's a great fighting game, and I can't wait to see more about it. We technically already know the roster if the leaks and data mining are to be believed, but that made me even more excited to see what's next in the game. I just hope I can finish my current indie game, Scouter, by then. I mean, if you like combo-heavy games, there's one for you, right there. But if you like that, you can check out my canceling-heavy previous game, Necrolepsy. Just throwing those out there. You never know. You never know. One more thing I'd like to say before ending this video is that I'm not sponsored by Riot Games. But you know, if Riot does want to hand me something, that'd be great. Just make sure it's in US dollars instead of Chinese yuan. Jokes aside, though, I do like this game a lot. I would like to play it more, and I hope I'm invited to the next alpha. Anyway, this is Stolken, and I'll see you in the next video.